In this video net interview at IBC 2012, I'm speaking with Stefan Jenzowsky, who's Head of Multimedia for Siemens CMT. Hello again.
Hi, it's good to be here again.
Yes, and one of the big themes here this year for IBC is second screen. Obviously, we're seeing and hearing a lot about that. Now, I know you can help broadcasters with their second screen experiences. So first of all, just tell us what you think the impact of second screen experiences can be.
I think the impact of companion devices and second screens is preliminary on the user experience, and it's a huge impact. I think it fundamentally has a capability of changing the user experience and the way we watch TV in the future. So in the last years, we have been concentrating basically on the selection of content, which we do in the Siemens solutions consequently only on second screens. I mean, you can still use your remote control if you want to, but we find in all of our field testing and also all of our families we work with for experimenting with different user experiences, we find that the remote control doesn't play a significant role anymore, that everything in selection is on these devices. Given that you may have 10,000 movies and 500 channels, which is now regular, at hand, it makes a lot of sense that you don't, select on the main screen and then maybe your spouse will say, well, what are you doing there after 20, 30 selections? So I believe that snacking is on the companion screen, and we have, with our Swipe product, done this in the last years. We have developed, I think, quite a comprehensive solution of apps that talk to each other and make selection possible. And now we are concentrating on the interaction on the second screen, on the companion device.
So once you've made your selection and you go and start watching something,
yeah,
it's what you do next with the second screen.
Well, at the moment we're concentrating on the interaction for advertisement, as advertisement is a very important means of financing television systems worldwide. I think it is only fair to consider this as the main interaction point. And we see some systems which are quite advanced that use, let's say, the microphone in a second screen and by this way tell you what is on the screen and then you can interact with it. And I think that is not a bad idea, but I think we can do some of these things better because we already have an app talking to your TV and knowing that you are watching TV in our solutions. So basically, let's say you're watching an automotive advertisement, BMW car, Audi car, something comes by. In cars, for some years, the most important predictor of buying a car was to bring people to a dealership. If you went to the dealer, you were most likely to buy a car. This has changed. Now it is the most important predictor to have an interaction with a configurator in the internet. And to configure your car and then buy the car, you're most likely, if you configure the car and revisit what you have configured. Now, television advertising traditionally was great in bringing you to the dealership. Great music, nice people, friendly style. Everything was great to get you to this dealership. It is not as good in bringing you to a website. Actually, Google is very good in bringing you to a website. This is why advertising money shifts to things like search engine, to the Googles of the world, and away from television gradually. So what we do is we give you this experience on a secondary screen while you're watching TV. So let's say you're watching a movie and then there comes an automotive advertisement. And by a simple click on the app that is running anyway to select program, to snack program, to preview trailers, now you can have your configurator, which goes to exactly the right page. You can configure your car. And of course, it was not a good idea to configure on the main screen. What will your wife say if you, inside the crime story for 20 minutes, start to configure your car? It's not a good experience. If you configure your car on a tablet or on a mobile phone and then just swipe it up and show it, let's say, to your wife, that's a good experience. Say, honey, do you like the color? And she says, yes, it's a great color. And you take it back and you keep watching the show. That's the experience I'm talking about. And that is an interaction experience with the advertisement content.
Okay, so second screen interaction synchronized with the adverts, but also then not doing all of the interactivity on the second screen, but maybe even going back to the first if you need to.
Yes.
In that case, showing your wife the colours.
Well, our product is called OTT Swipe at Siemens, and it has the ability to swipe anything up and down between main screen and secondary screen. So all of these apps talk to each other. Let's say there's a Samsung app, an LG app, a Philips app for all of the different TVs, and Sony and Pioneer and Panasonic and what you have. And you have a lot of apps, not only on iOS, but also on Android devices. We serve more than 110 mobile phones alone now by apps. So if you have any phone, like this iPhone, and any TV, like a Samsung TV, you can swipe up and down. For selection, you can select your program by looking at a trailer and swiping it up and then watching the movie, which takes the hassle out of selection on the main screen. For interaction, now you can configure your car on the secondary screen and then swipe it up to look at your car in the full brilliance of a large screen on your wall, but then you take it back because the configuration experience, of course, is very bad on the main screen. This is also why red button is a very bad idea, not a good idea at all. Because the red button idea comes from you are using your remote control, that's why it's called a red button, right, to interact on that main screen with a very strange interaction experience. The remote control is just not made for that. Try to configure your car using a remote control and you see how poor that concept is. So red button rightfully is dead. What makes sense is to get this interaction experience to touch screens, to secondary devices, to zoom in and out, to play with stuff, to book how easy is it to book a flight on a main screen TV? How annoying would that be for your family? How easy is it to book your flight on a secondary device and then, show the destination, look how beautiful it is in Thailand on the main screen and watch the clip about Thailand on the main screen? Well, of course, the booking experience needs to stay on your personal device.
Okay, now, all of what you've described in terms of the app, it's a pay TV aggregator app, it sounds like, because you've got the remote control and the EPG and the content discovery. Now, that kind of app tends to be owned or operated by the platform aggregator. But the advertising, as we've heard it so far, seems to be coming from the channel owners who want their channel app and their program-based second screen app, and the advertising is done within there, and the relationship, they hope, would be between the channel provider and the advertiser. Now, are you saying that the pay TV operator is the one who goes and has the advertising relationship, or are they going to go and work with the channel owner? How does it work?
Well, that is different, of course, a little bit in different regions of the world. As you know, we have a very large deployment in India. I'm German, and even in Britain or in the Netherlands here, things work a little differently on that. Let's take the case of Germany. In Germany, traditionally, any distributor of media does not have advertising. So a cable company would not insert advertisements. Q-tones are relatively unknown in Germany. No one does that. Actually, the distribution organizations expect to get paid by the TV channels for distribution. In the United States, for instance, that's almost the opposite, right? You're inserting advertisements when you are a distribution organization. A local cable network will insert advertisements and will be an advertisement company in itself, an advertisement distributor. And it will have things like audience they can sell and ad avails and all these things. So it depends really a little bit on the local market of how that is shaping. When you say our apps work for large distribution organizations, that may be true. And that's a focus, but one of our customers is Z Entertainment Limited. It's one of the largest television stations of the world, so it makes sense for broadcasters. Other people we talk to, we work with, are traditionally telecom operators, because they are also media distribution organizations nowadays. And of course, then there are traditional media distributors, like the cables and the satellite people. So I think there are several forces in the ecosystem that will use comprehensive system of interlinked applications to distribute media.
And I'm sure, I assume that the business models can be, negotiated. Maybe the broadcaster works with the pay TV aggregator app and the advertiser still deals with the channel owner, perhaps. But do you think that it's the aggregator app that is the primary app? Because we hear about the idea of the umbrella app. How many apps do we want to download on our tablets? Will we download an app for every channel or for every show? Do you think it will be one main app that will oversee everything and everything else will launch from within there?
I think we, at the moment, see two different phenomena. One is this umbrella app, as you're describing, and at the other side you see some dedicated apps for advertisement interaction, like Shazam, which is now actually a music recognition app, but which does help you to recognize the content on TV and the advertisements on TV. And both have their merits, both are good. I believe that the main user wants to have apps that make sense. So if I get a Lufthansa app, for instance, I want to book flights, I want to get my boarding tickets there, I want to see if I get a delayed flight. Everything that is around flying with Lufthansa should be in an app. Now, what does that mean for television? I think that EPG belongs to an app as well as a movie store, as well, so linear and delinear should be in the same app because it is basically competing for the same viewing time. And also advertising direct response should be in the same app. If that should be done as a big umbrella with a lot of other stuff underneath, I would have my doubts if that is not too mighty. The apps traditionally are easy to use, very fast in response time, easy to load. If we try to squeeze entire business models and chains into an app, if you get the airline app that suddenly can also book hotels, it may not work. So you probably would favor two different apps for airline and hotel, and you maybe favor two different apps for different parts of your television experience.
Okay, all right, well, we'll watch with great interest to see how this plays out, and thanks for coming in and talking to us again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.